Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Discussions with Sadistic Pixel. Today, we are discussing the heavily anticipated, especially by this guy right here, the Apple Watch, and our thoughts on it, especially his thoughts, Mr. Zach's thoughts, and is it going to be successful? Is it going to be revolutionary, or is it just going to be another smartwatch that people forget about in 4 or 5 years? And so the first thing to do is to turn over to the man who knows what he's talking about when it comes to Apple products, Trevor Baldwin.
Thank you, Justin. So a few questions, or a few answers for your questions here are...
There were a lot of questions.
My initial thoughts on the Apple Watch are, yes, I want one because I have bought one. It is the most revolutionary smartwatch out there. A lot of reviewers that I've read, such as like The Verge, and I think Yahoo may have said it as well, that it is the most advanced one, but it's still not a necessity,
Yeah.
I think that what Apple has done with the Apple Watch, more or less, other than creating a really beautiful product from what I've seen, is they've created a market for the future. And I don't know how successful it's going to be at launch. I know a lot of people have bought one. I was reading all about it on Reddit and Twitter the night that it came out, and or that it pre-orders went up. And personally, I think it's going to be more of a slow burn, kind of like the iPad. When it first came out, everyone said, we don't need this. This is stupid. It's a bigger iPhone. But a year later, 50 million sold, Or I don't know if it was that high by a year, but
a lot sold,
there's been a lot sold now. So that's kind of my initial impressions of the Apple Watch.
But you said it's a slow burn, but you just said yourself that like they were already starting to sell like crazy. Like
I don't know how crazy they are selling. I just know that a lot of people on the Apple portion of Reddit and Twitter, all the people I follow on Twitter have been getting one.
Yeah.
I mean that obviously that's not gonna keep the product alive, but I'm sure there's a lot more too. I don't know.
Yeah.
The shipping dates have already been pushed back to June, so surely they're still, the numbers.
Their initial
pretty high.
stock will be pretty low.
Yeah.
Zach?
Which I have to agree with Trevor on the slow burn thing. I can see that happening. I can see I can understand what you're getting at. And possibly, beginning it's not going to sell many. Like it's just a select group of people will get it.
Right.
But as time goes on, more people might start getting it after seeing people have it.
Yeah.
Seeing the reviews and stuff like that, how-to videos with them, whatever you want to do. Kind of like what the iPads were. But for me personally, I don't know if I'll get one.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I mean, it'd have to really impress me for me to shell out that kind of money for an Apple Watch or whatever. And which you see, I don't wear watches that much anyway, so
right.
I feel like I'd wear it for maybe a couple days, then just take it off or put it somewhere else. I wouldn't wear it 24/7, which I feel it would defeat the purpose.
Yeah, it's like you want to feel like you need to have it on you, like your cell phone. Like,
right.
I mean, how naked do you feel without your cell phone if you forget it?
I know it's ridiculous.
I hate
it.
that we rely on it so much, but I think for a watch like that to be successful is it's gotta have that feeling like, oh, you have to have it with you, like it detects your heartbeat or something like
right.
that, But I mean, I don't know if Apple can't get the smartwatch revolution going, then nobody can do it.
I agree.
And it'll be a lost cause if they can't, if nothing happens within the next 2 to 3 years. But who knows? I mean, they need some type of revolutionary thing to get going. So. And
a lot of it is hype too, of course. This is the first new product they've released in 5 years. Since 2000, the iPad was the last thing they released. That was a new item in 2010.
Wow.
And I know it's hard to believe. I couldn't believe it either whenever I first read about it. But really, and a lot of people are even saying this. They're going with the sport model, like I bought. Just to see how it's gonna work in their daily lives. And even to support a second generation, because we all obviously know that the second generation of something is always going to be better.
Yeah.
And see, now, if I like it and I'm using it every day, which I love wearing a watch.
I do too.
I have a watch. It just doesn't fit me. If it did fit me, I'd probably be wearing it right now. But you know, if it's successful, and I see, you know, see myself using it every day, then yeah, the second generation, I'm probably going to fork out, you know, a little bit more for, you know, for like a stainless steel model or something like that, because it's a beautiful piece of technology, but you also have to remember it's a piece of technology, so just like anything else, it can go obsolete fast, you know, especially in today's world.
You call it second generation, but do you guys think that they'll release them sporadically, like just like they'll release like new batches throughout the year, or will it be like a once-a-year thing, like the new iPad and the new iPhone? Like, how do you think they're going to do that? Do you think they'll be constantly releasing new designs or updating it?
My guess is 1.5 to 2 years.
1.5
that
to 2
seems
years.
more reasonable for this
Okay.
product, because there's only so much you can do in such a little amount of time for a product like this, and with it being so new, you know, and unexplored, I think that seems like a more reasonable time frame. And you never know; they could do it every year. There's rumors that that by the end of the year there may be a different type of like metal that you can buy for it, you know, other than stainless steel and aluminum and gold, that, you know, may fit in there somewhere. But I think it's 1.5 to 2. What about y'all?
I feel like it depends on how well it sells.
Yeah.
I mean, like with the phones and stuff like that, they've announced like a new phone about every year.
Yeah, it usually comes out in September.
So I feel like I agree, it'd probably be 1.5, 2 years before they do another one, but I feel that would change depending if they start selling really well. If they sell a lot better than they think they're going to sell, they could be sitting on already and doing stuff for them. They're not releasing yet until how it sells.
Right.
But
I think the real question is who are they going to have join Mickey Mouse on the front of their watches?
I don't know. That's a very good question. You know, I read an article about all the watch faces recently, and I didn't realize how much time went into those watch faces. Like, there's a face called Motion. It shows like different creatures. I don't know what's the animals. There's a butterfly, a jellyfish, and something else. And I was reading about that jellyfish specifically. Yeah, they used a 4K camera at 300 frames per second. Took over 24,000 photos in almost 300 hours to get that little jellyfish on that screen and to look good. I just thought that was neat.
Now, how does this work? This is one thing I don't understand. Like, can you download new faces for it, or is it?
I think that'll be a thing.
Okay.
You know, everything. I think that the Watch App Store is actually run on your iPhone, and everything right now is ran through your iPhone for the watch. Like all the apps and stuff. Later on this year, everyone is predicting around September, Apple is going to start allowing native apps on the watch that actually install on the watch.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the stuff that comes with the watch that, you know, Apple made is on there, but a lot of the reviewers were talking about how at times it can be a bit sluggish, like loading data, but that's because it's pulling it from your phone.
Yeah.
So later on in the year, whenever Apple releases, you know, I think it's called the Watch API, there'll be native apps, and that lag will essentially all of it be gone. So that's something to look forward to for me.
Now, I do have a question about it. Like how you're saying it pulls from the phone. Does that mean you have to have your phone on you at all times for it to work?
Okay,
or
so
if you can leave it somewhere?
that was something I also read about recently, and like with the, it can connect through Bluetooth or a known Wi-Fi network. So really, if I'm at my house, my phone could, you know, I could be upstairs and my phone downstairs, and yeah, it's still going to connect.
Say you're 10 miles from it, and you connect.
Well,
to the
yeah,
Wi-Fi, would it
obviously.
still work like that?
I don't think so.
See, I think for the watches to be a major success, is they're going to have their own processing power and be able to do their own thing eventually.
Now, one thing that, speaking of that, I think that is what's going to be the future.
Yeah.
Because as of right now, the Apple Watch, if your phone dies and the watch is on a known Wi-Fi network that you're connected, like your home, the watch can still send and receive texts.
Really? That's pretty cool.
And there's a few other small. It's a very minimal set of features, but I can really see that right there shows me that I think that's where that's going.
Yeah.
You know,
Possibly
I think that
too.
is neat that, you know, if my phone is dead, I can still send and receive text on my watch.
Well, it just shows you that 20 years from now how connected every thing on our body is going to be connected.
I know.
I mean, it's
insane to think
it's
about.
scary,
And it excites me. I don't want. Obviously, I don't know if you guys have seen that episode of Futurama where they're making fun of the iPhone where they stick an attachment behind your eye. I don't want something like that. But I think wearable technology is really cool. But I'm a huge nerd for that kind of stuff anyway. So
that's why we're all here, Trevor. We're all major nerds, and that's what we all think of the Apple Watch. We all hope it's successful. I guess when you say, I know he's definitely.
With something this new, I'd like to see it go.
Yeah, I would too. I like watches, and I'd love to see it go somewhere. But I'm just skeptical on it. But luckily, we got Trevor here. He's gonna bring his watch on here. We're gonna discuss his thoughts on it. We're gonna discuss our thoughts on it in a future episode. So stay tuned, and thank you guys for joining. Come grow with us on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/sadisticpixel and check out our website at sadisticpixel.com. Peace out, people.